guys, and welcome to Base Fighter Combat School. Today we are going to be taking a look at a La-7, Soviet Level 12. First and foremost, and before I start getting into detail here, let me tell you that today has been probably the most painful experience in War Thunder since I started playing it. So really thanks a lot for all of you, those of you who voted for a Soviet fighter. No, I'm kidding. I was actually looking forward to this, doing more Soviet planes, because I have very few Soviet planes in my plane analysis playlist, and the last one was what, 3 months ago, 4 maybe. I really need to do more plane analysis of the Soviet teams, but really the teams, Jesus, the teams, it was insufferable. The level of gameplay for the average Soviet team is lower than the Titanic. I mean, it can't sink any lower. It sinks lower and it goes to the Earth center. It's insufferable. And not because they are douchebags or because they. I mean, in historical, in arcade battles, you get a lot of douches flying USSR planes and not giving a flying fuck about team killing or that kind of stuff. But in historical battles, there's I have seen none of that douchebaggery. People, is not that they are douches, it's that they simply don't know anymore. They don't know any better. They don't climb. They don't do anything useful. They go for ground targets in fighters and they expect to somehow win the battles. I lost the count of the times I was the only guy over 4,000 meters, and the next highest guy was at 1,500 meters. It was insufferable. It has been painful to the point that when I was done with that, I tried to keep on playing the other nations, but I was so angry, the feeling of being powerless I had while playing this plane with the Soviet teams was still there, and I was totally tilted. I was doing the wrong calls. I was committing all the mistakes you could, simply because of the mere fact that I have had enough. I was angry, and when you are angry, you commit mistakes. It's as easy as that. And that's the worst problem of this fighter, that it has a red star and is forced to fly with the USSR, because otherwise this plane is stunning. It's incredible, and it's getting better in 1.35. I'm going to enter that in a second. Actually, that's another thing. This plane, for a second, I thought about delaying the review, because with the patch notes there are some information that affect this plane flight model, but they affect it in such a way that I think I can perfectly cover and explain this plane even while it's about to receive a fix for the flight model. Let me begin by saying what exactly this plane is. This is an energy fighter in the same sense that a BF-109 is. It's a plane with a huge acceleration, a huge climb rate at low levels, really maneuverable, excellent roll rate, pretty good turn rate. It's actually a pretty decent turner. You don't want to turn a lot in it, but if you have to, you can. Well armored, couple of 20mm guns. Accelerates really well, climbs really well, but it has 3 drawbacks. The first is Soviet, and you have to fly with Soviet teams. So really, if you want to enjoy this plane, do it platooned or squadded with 3 more guys who you know they are good and they are going to climb with you, because otherwise you are going to be left alone. In the squads, this plane is really powerful, believe me. First, the nation. Second, that it loses a lot of performance over 4,000 meters. And up high is not bad, but it's not the hot rod, it's at low levels. And the third one is that it's really bad in a dive, and that's getting fixed. Until now, if you put one of these planes in a dive at more than 640 km per hour, it's going to start fluttering like mad. You can't aim, you can't do anything, because the plane is reaching the point where it becomes unmaneuverable at such high speeds. Well, the next patch, 1.35, is going to fix that, and it's going to give it a dive speed before flutter of 740 km per hour. So this plane will turn into something that can be dived, and I really think that it needs it. I don't think Soviet planes weren't good divers, but they didn't lose the control the way they do in the game right now in dives. At least this one, the Labo skins. The Jacks were somehow a different story, but the Jack series dive better than these planes, and shouldn't be the case. Anyway, it's going to get fixed, so one of those disadvantages is going to go away. The plane is going to be able to actually dive much better, and it's going to increase a lot the usefulness of this plane, which is extremely useful. It's really good. But sometimes you feel that you are limited by the limited options in a dive, and you're going to see that in the gameplay as well. You're going to see also ways to go around that and how to plan ahead for diving moves on lower enemies that are going faster and you want to catch up, but you can't really dive on them because you would overspeed your plane. You're going to see all that. Anyway, energy fighter in the sense that this is a vampire energy fighter. As you know, I make a huge distinction between energy fighting and bomb assuming. Bomb assuming is part of energy fighting, but for me it's a completely different style. The real kind of energy fighting, what I call energy fighting, is mostly being a vampire, getting an enemy and using your superior acceleration and climb rate to build energy over him, force him into defensive maneuvers so he runs dry of energy while you are creating energy with your engine. This is a plane with a very good power loading, accelerates and climbs very well at low levels. Over 4,000 meters, loses most of its edge, but still can do very well at altitudes up to 6,000 meters, 7,000 meters, losing most of its climb performance, but still can get things done. The way to fight on this plane is basically going as high as you can, grabbing the highest enemy and trying to drag him down into lower altitudes, where your plane performance is much higher and is much better than at high altitude, and where you can use the vampire energy tactics to kill him. It's pretty well armored, has two 20mm cannons firing synchronized with the propeller. Convergence is not an issue at all for this plane because the grouping is really tight. It's really maneuverable, very maneuverable, has very good roll, very good turn. It's an excellent fighter. I think this actually bests the BF-109G2 under 4,000 meters in most of the ways you can imagine, and a BF-109G2 is amazing. The problem is that the BF-109G2 keeps its performance up high while this plane loses a lot of it, but still is really a competent fighter, and one I like a lot. Really, in the rare occasions I had really good teams, we totally blasted the opposition. So Soviet fighters are really good, all of them. In fact, I would actually make a case for most of the planes of the Soviet 3 being vastly under leveled. Vastly, really. They are excellent at their level, and they should actually be higher levels. But they are not bad in any way, shape, or form. They are excellent fighters. The problem is the derps who fly them. Really, Soviet teams. If I ever go in a masochism full day, if I really want to feel the pain again, I'm going to strap myself into a Soviet fighter and play War Thunder for 12 hours in a row, alone, in historical battles, because it's absolutely terrifying, the level of ignorance, the level of incompetence shown by the Soviet fighters. Really, is the worst part about this plane. The nation. This would be one of my favorite planes, simply if it was sitting in any other territory and in any other nation. It's that good, but it's Soviet and it has to fly with derps. What are you going to do? So yeah, couple of things here. Repair cost 3,000 lions for a level 12. This is super cheap and really doesn't correspond to the quality of the plane. The plane is excellent. Weapons, couple of 20mm cannons, and with 170 rounds each, I think. Let me check. Yeah, 170 rounds each. It's not a bad weapon loader. It actually allows for pretty long firing times. This plane doesn't have the same problem the Yak series has. The Yak series actually is somewhat limited by its lack of ammunition. The La-7s don't have that problem. Hard hitting, trustable, powerful, really suffers in a dive, but in the next patch that's going to be not that such an issue anymore. It's a very lightweight plane. This is not a boom and summer. First of all, because it can't dive currently, and it's not going to be a great diver even after the patch. This is a pure energy fighter. If you fight it in that way, you're going to love it. So yeah. By the way, you can mount bombs in this thing. You can actually do so. Yeah, really. Not lying here. Believe it or not, I have seen people flying with these things. 100 kilogram bombs. Yeah, Soviet teams. Yeah, what I'm going to say. Anyway, time to review the gameplay. Also remember that if you want to know more about this plane, how it handles, how it maneuvers, you can find more information in my blog. The link is going to be in the description below. So visit it and read the article, and that way you will know more about this plane that, well, what I said here. So let's move on to the gameplay. And the first battle you're going to see is in Korea. Most of the fights I have found in this plane have been over Korea against American. I have had some games against Japanese and German as well, but the major part of them have been over Korea, I guess, because of the long queues of American planes. You could see there I have spotted an F8F for a second. No, I don't have it anymore inside. A general view of the situation right now just gives you a sense of how things are in Soviet teams. And believe it or not, this is one of the best teams I had in the whole day. It was like that. Because they were at 2,000 meters. That's very high. Except for that guy behind there. We were just two guys over 4,000 meters. And we were dealing with F8Fs, with XP50s, with a lot of late war stuff, and of course those guys climbed. You could see the F8F was up there like perched suborbital. So instead of doing what all those devs are doing, which is basically go with the lawn and try to get some grass, I climb away from the action and focus myself on getting a good chance to hit any enemies by surprise by coming higher than them. You can see I'm checking around all the time because I know the F8F must be there somewhere, and there you go, there he is. He has dived somewhat. Now I spot an F4U1C, F8F, F4U. Which should I go for? And actually, I should have gone for this guy. You're going to see why later. But no, he dives. The F8F is still up there. He's engaged with another La-7. He's actually fighting that La-7 and he's higher in energy. So well, I'm going to lend the other smart guy in this team a hand, because we are the only two guys up here. The rest are all collecting flowers down there. And of course all our fighters, except R2 and maybe one more, the rest are all dead. All of them. We only have TU2s, Yak 9 I think, which is long mowing like a boss, and this La-7 you can see here, and me. So well, time to go for the F8F. He's actually in a close fight with the La-7, so I level up, I build some speed. Well, it's still climbing a little bit, but I want to enter the fight as fast as I can. So, watch him maneuvering. He's now diving away. But I don't understand exactly why he pulls up. Guessing that he trusts his Bearcat more than what he should. I totally missed my shot here. By a hair. I'm still... One of the things of the Soviet cannons is that I still don't have the proper feeling for them. And this was one of the first fights I had in the La-7 today. Maybe the 5th or 10th. But in the second one, I totally blast the guy. My first pass, I got a better feel of the lead I needed, and in the second one, I didn't. I didn't waste my chance, and well, he's just out there doing nothing because he's broken. He's going down. So two criticals. I spot he's totally unmaneuverable. He's going down. So no reason to stay with him. I look around. I see no other enemy fighters up here. And now you are going to see one of the best sneaks in the story of War Thunder. What a genius this guy was. You have seen I have totally checked my surroundings. And now you can see me doing a barrel rolls as I dive with Cut Engine. This is to avoid overspeeding too much. Because you can see the speedometer number has gone red as soon as I hit 40 kilometers per hour. So I come down on this guy, bounce him, or get ready. I get hit, and I think, shit, anti-aircraft guns. What? Where the hell this guy came from? This was brilliant. Brilliant. He was hiding in the clouds. He waited for me to go past in the dive, and he dived behind me. What a master approach. I never saw him coming. He blasted me off the sky, and game over. Amazing, amazing. And this is actually a subscriber, by the way. So really, what the hell I am doing by putting up advice for people to kill me? Hate you guys. Amazing approach. But you can see that the La-7 is really powerful. Really, really powerful. I was able to beat the F-8 moves without too much of a trouble. The problem with the La-7 is that in a dive it suffers. So well, let's see more action, let's see more gameplay. So in this one we are going against the Germans. This is Berlin map, which is a huge relief. I was hoping for this map all the time because at least you get the chance to fly with people with US and British planes who will climb a little bit, just a little bit, because Soviet teams don't. I'm going to cry here. Really, it was so painful. So well, up we are at 5,200 meters. We spot a Bf-109 who is under real pressure from those two Spitfires. I spot focal point enemy there. By the way, in this game you are going to see some real ranting in the chat from my part. It was half taunting, but it was actually bad mood. I actually slammed on the guy I shouldn't have, and I apologize from him because I was telling him, well, I was just smack talking him when I shouldn't have. But it was simply because I was so frustrated. This actually was one of the latest games I had in the La-7 today, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I was so damn frustrated. And I simply had enough. I simply was over the top and I couldn't stand it anymore. So when I spot a focal point Dora who actually could fly his plane more aggressively and do well in it, but he's flying well because he actually was flying well and doing what he should. I actually jumped at him with, well, some smack talking I shouldn't have, so apologize from him to Mostar Soko. Yeah, well, I went too far there. Anyway, you have seen that I kept on going. I didn't focus myself on the Bf-109. The Bf-109 was already engaged, so no reason to go for him. The sad fact is that the Bf-109 actually turned the tables on those Spitfires, but that's a whole different thing. The Focus 190 is going on, and he's going to dive now, and I'm going to follow. But here enters what I told you before about the bad diving speed of the La-7, and you are going to, it's very obvious in this clip, this plane should actually dive better, and it's going to dive better from 1.35. I spot very soon that he's moving back to base, very soon, and I know I can't dive behind him because if I do so my plane is going to break up. You could see I was fluttering like mad. So what I'm going to do here is bet for a long-term approach. Well, you're going to see right now is when it happens in the chat. So that was not really warranted. So you can see with that, what I'm going to do here is to just dive in the proper angle to keep myself fluttering slightly, but not accelerating. And this way, what I'm doing is keeping that speed for a longer time than what he's going to achieve by doing the level run he's doing right now. This is a pretty useful tactic to get enemy fighters on the long run. If you spot them diving, pull up and enter a very soft dive, like the one you see here, just over your over the flutter speed, and you will be able to keep chase for a longer time. I'm not going to be able to pull just down to this guy, but I'm able to follow him. Of course, he's going to reach AAA cover, but again, as I'm not diving steeply, when I reach AAA cover, I won't be at sea level, and the AAA guns will have a lower chance to hit me. So I'm keeping the chase here. Actually, this is a bad case of target fixation. Again, I was so frustrated. I was really. This is not good gameplay in the sense of tactical things. This guy had dived. I should have came back to the main action and engaged the other guys. He was out. I mean, he was simply running away. I should have disengaged and come back to action, but it was totally focused on the kill. So, well, we reach the anti-aircraft cover, he starts maneuvering, and I play my card. Vertical move. He's trying to come up for me, and I get him totally defenseless. And to wrap it up, we will have a game again in Korea, where I'm tailing a P-51D. There's a huge fight down here, and I wouldn't say the Soviet team in this one was bad, because it wasn't. They actually climbed it, they actually tried hard, but we got outplayed. The American team was simply really good. P-51s flown really well. I see Corsair doing some nasty stuff there. A mosquito. I have to find a name for those things. A broken kiddo. Just bothering and pesting me all the time. So yeah. Anyway, I thought that this wouldn't be a complete gameplay and analysis if I'm not showing any defensive flying or my trademark bad shooting, because there were both of a lot of that in this game. About that mosquito which was coming for me, he keeps on going, and well, I look around, see nothing coming for me, so I'm going to try to back this guy as he turns into the action again. But I totally mistake my shoot here, and whatever. Vertical reversal, come back to action, and try to do so as fast as I can, because we have an La-7 down there in real serious trouble. But sadly I'm too far away to be of help, and I'm not going to arrive in time to save his skin. He's going to go down. Those two P-51s were really well flown. Here the Mosquito is going for the Jax-9. I could have tried to back the P-51s, but the problem is that I wanted to support my ally. So instead I go for the Mosquito. The Mosquito, of course, spots me. He's starting a break turn. I open up too early here. And then a combination of bad aiming and the guy simply moves in the proper moment to avoid my fire in most of the hits. I have hit him there. I had a perfectly shot. He just moved out of the line of sight. So yeah, just a couple hits before the P-51 comes again for me. These guys were really flying very well, the Mustangs. So what I do is, I spot the Yak-9 is coming. I go in a straight line to drag the P-51. But the P-51 has already spotted he's been under attack, so he's moving away. Mosquito coming again. Well, not coming really. I was much higher in energy than him, so he was trying to put some long range shots on me, but no luck for him. Use my superior energy, go directly in the vertical. He totally sees what's coming and starts brake turning and trying to keep his speed instead of giving me an easy target. Still, he's going to get a nasty bounce here. So I have a pretty decent approach. He's going for one of the allies. And again, well, now I will actually get some nice hits on him. So I'm assuming, okay, I did get no critical, but at least I will have gotten maybe a black tail or black fuselage or something that really hurts him in his way, the way he's maneuvering. No. The Mosquito has exactly the same problem as the Bullfighter in that it flies too well and that it stands an insane amount of damage without any results at all. So yeah, our ally there is going down, coming for the Mosquito. Look at that, look at those hits. The guy is still flying as if nothing happened. What the hell? I do a very tight loop because I spotted that FU coming for me. Well, I spotted something in the minimap coming for me. I didn't know it was an FU, but now of course he has me and he doesn't want to let go. So I have to dump most of my energy in forcing an overshoot. And right now I'm alone versus all of them. So I'm not going to last a huge lot here. I have achieved the overshoot. Check behind. P51 has gotten the occasion. He's not coming now, coming really quick for me. So Mosquito coming. I have to avoid his head-on. But of course, you can dump all your ammunition in a Mosquito. Nothing will happen. If he grazes you, your engine will go red. I know I have a P51 behind me who's coming close. I'm alone. I'm going to die anyway, so YOLO! No, that didn't end very well. So the teams, what I'm going to say, really is the worst part about this plane. This is has been a painful day, and it's one of the reasons why I'm actually putting this video this late, because after I was done with this and I had decided I had enough gameplay, I simply had to quit, go out, take care, just disconnect from the game because it was such a horrible experience. And I'm not really looking forward to the next Soviet plane analysis. Not at all. But still, I have to do more of them because the planes deserve, and you guys deserve more plane analysis to understand better the planes you are going to find in War Thunder. So more will be incoming as you vote them, of course. But really, not looking forward to that. It has been so damn painful. Anyway, I hope you found it educative, that you understand the plane better now, that you know how to fly it better. Remember that for the next week you can select which is your choice, which is your plane of choice that you want to see reviewed. Last week there were a lot of votes for the Japanese Zero, so it's kind of, I was surprised that I wasn't expecting that one. I was somehow expecting something Soviet because I have very few things put up about the Soviet planes. But anyway, just vote for whatever plane you want from the list you can see here. These are the unlocked planes I have. Some of them I don't have actually purchased, but if it's within my level reach, I will purchase them and analyze them. If you vote for them, of course. So remember to vote for the plane you want to see. Remember to upvote the votes you see of the plane you want to see. And also remember that, well, for variety reasons, try to find a little balance between the plane analysis. There have been a lot of American planes lately. We have a Soviet one right now. So, well, I would ask you to please, well, choose any of the three other nations to do an analysis on. But you decide. You are the one who decide what I'm going to review next. So again, check the blog. There's more information about the La-7. Excellent fighter, but really hard to be placed in those teams. Really, it does. As always, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this. It has been painful for me, so enjoy it. It's an order. And thank you very much for watching, and see you later.
Every city, there's a place where life's a little easy. A stress from the world outside. Every longer will be alright.